So welcome to everybody. I'm Alessandro Carmelita, the CEO of ISC. We have organized the 12th edition of Attachment Trauma Conference, and we are very, very happy to have Mary Jo Barret as a speaker. And I just want to say thank you for being here with us and to have accepted to participate to our conference. It's going to be an incredible event. So the first one after the pandemic, the first one in person after the pandemic. So it will be a celebration for all of us. And it's going to be fantastic to be all together in Rome. So I would like to ask you if you can say something more about yourself, and then about what you are going to talk during the conference in Rome.
So what should I say about myself? I'm been in the field for over 40 years. And I think my biggest claim to fame in many ways, two claims to fame, no, three. My biggest, I think, is other than my 3 adult children who are all launched. So that's a big deal. And doing fabulous. And then I would say my second is, and I don't know in terms of Europe what you would call it, but I was the first person in the state of Illinois to do in-home child protective service therapy, counseling. So I literally was the first person back in the 70s, before there were child abuse laws or people reported it, that I would go in on cases. So I've been working in the field. We didn't call it trauma 40 some years ago, right? And so to me, when we really talk about trauma and attachment, it's really, to me, what we're talking about is interpersonal violence. Because the majority of our cases, it's interpersonal violence that are coming to see us. I mean, of course, there's, and particularly in the United States, unfortunately, mass trauma with mass shootings and the violence there. And yet still it's around violence. And so so that's the introduction to me, is that I really see trauma as interpersonal violence and in terms violations of attachment. So, and I've been doing that for over 40 years. When I said my third claim to fame is, I don't know if this is true, but I've been told that I wrote the first systemic book on incest. And that was back in the 80s. So my expertise on sexual abuse and incest and domestic violence covers, 1, the lifespan, and 2, decades of work. And so I've taught around the world, and so that's who I am. I've taught in social work school, I've taught in family therapy. I am both a social worker and truly a family therapist. I have both degrees and backgrounds. And so I truly see things systemically and in a relational context. So we can all imagine the importance of attachment in terms of seeing trauma, complex developmental trauma, in the context of relationships. Which is a perfect segue to what I'm going to be talking about. In terms of fitting with the theme of your conference, which I'm thrilled about, not only trauma and attachment, but also clinical interventions. What I'm going to be presenting is it's a meta model. It's a model that applies to absolutely every form of trauma treatment, literally. EMDR, yoga therapy, IFS, CBT, all the alphabet, at least the English alphabet of trauma treatment. And because it's a meta model, it's a meta clinical model about attachment, particularly the attachment between clinician and client, how the clinician is in part of that system at all times, and the importance of seeing. There's two pieces that are very important about the collaborative change model. It's literally what it's called, the collaborative change model, which is what I'll be teaching. And it's about the collaboration and of the client and the therapist. And it's about relationships. So that I believe, as I said earlier, trauma, as we mostly see it clinically, happened in the context of relationships and needs to heal in the context of relationships. That's the primary piece of the collaborative change model. The second piece is timing. It's all about when to do the interventions in the context of relationships. And so what I believe with the model is that I watched for 20 years and became a scholar of all sorts of master therapists from when I was very young till I was not so very young, and watched, and they all did the same things, no matter what the model was they were doing. And it's the exact same thing that is what happens naturally in nature about how change happens. It's a repetitive cycle of how change, it's evolution. And so what I saw from these masters and what I saw in nature and applied it to every model of trauma treatment. And so it follows this sequence of healing that gets repeated over and over and over and over again.
Wow. It's so
Wow.
fascinating. It's really fascinating. I'm really looking forward to it. And I was wondering if maybe in the future, not far future, we will have you teaching for us, maybe training or something like that. That would be
I would
great.
love to, because when I saw that I was doing it in an hour and a half and then on a panel, I was like, okay, now that will be a great professional challenge. So it will be
I
a
know.
good challenge to me to, as you can already see, I've already used up 15 minutes. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I can see that.
I get very excited about this topic,
Yeah, and
right?
I'm sure that we're gonna get excited too. And so we will probably plan something with you for the near future. So
That would be fabulous.
the Italians will be trained by you. Great. And so the last question that I would like to ask you is, why do you think is so essential, so important for clinicians to participate to an event like this?
I just you asking the question, I feel like crying. That's how important this is, because as clinicians, we've been in a trauma stress state for years, for the last couple of years. That, yeah, we've been in a traumatic stress state. I'm not saying that's enough. I don't need to say more. I can sometimes talk about how I see traumatic stress versus necessarily complex developmental trauma. But we have all, without question, being isolated, being anxious about getting sick, experiencing the exact same thing that our clients are going through, for ourselves. Every clinician says that to me, right? They all say to me, how can we, I'm going through what my clients are going through. How can I possibly be helping them?
Yeah.
And because we've all gone through this traumatic stress, one of the things, the major, and I've known this from our research that we did qualitative research for interviewing over 5,000 people. The number one variable that every client says in the process of healing is connection. And what we even know about neurological healing is social engagement is the primary way we regulate our brain. And so us coming together internationally bringing in this incredibly stressful, divided, painful way. There is no better body or group of people to come together, because we need to heal each other.
Yeah.
We need to be in community. There is no question we need to be in community, and we need to be in an international community, not just isolated in our own countries, in order to begin healing or to continue healing ourselves, and to be the kind of people and human beings that we need to be to heal this world, and to heal our planet, and to heal the clients. And so there is nothing better than for us to come together and face to face at this time in community, and learn and change and grow together.
So it's not just what we will listen, what we will learn, but it's the experience that we will do together. That
Yep.
will, yeah.
It's the attachment. It's the connection. It's the absolutely, if we take away, if all we hear is voices in the same room with us, that's going to be healing. And if they have something really good to say, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Which I know they will. But just being together and learning together, I think the learning, I mean, when I talk about what I've learned about the 5 essential ingredients for healing for trauma, first is connection, and also is knowledge.
Yeah.
People need to learn things to heal. They learn new skills, so we're all in need of healing right now.
Yeah.
And so there's no better way.
Yeah, and I think you don't know that, but I just want to say that, thinking exactly what you are thinking, what you are saying, we organized this conference in a way that we will not just listen from experts, but we will also have during the breaks actors, musicians, we're going to have singers, we're going to have dancers. It's going to be really a celebration all together. Because we need to connect again. We need to stay together and be emotionally really close and connected. Yeah.
And creativity, the arts. I mean, all of our brains. I mean, I don't want to get too academic, but we all need to settle. We've all need to settle. What I've been saying in the last year or so, and I don't know how what word you can translate this into Italian, is that I believe we've all been experiencing emotional and psychological and spiritual concussion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a concussion is, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So, because a concussion is literally a physical, and that shakes up your brain. And what a concussion protocol is to calm your brain, is to soothe. That is literally to well, if you're a football, and I mean football, doing a header football or a US football, what the protocol. And so we all need a concussion protocol. And that does come through music, poetry, movement, creativity, and connection. So you've planned the perfect experience for all of us to heal our concussions.
Well, great. I'm so happy you said all these things. And I'm very happy that you will be there with us, because I'm
thrilled.
Yeah, I'm sure that it will be an incredible experience that we will not forgive at all. And so thanks a lot also for this very interesting interview. It was amazing. And I'm really looking forward to being together in Rome.
I can't even tell you. I'm counting the days. I'm counting the days.
Great.
And I even made my airline, my airfare, whatever line ticket. So I'm coming whether you like it or not.
Yeah, no, we're going to be very happy. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.